This is a demonstration of using the Paid ChatGPT app, the iPhone, and talking to it and hearing the response and the voice quality. I'm really quite impressed with it. See the little headphone there at the bottom? Look at that. I'm going to click it. Are you familiar with the work of Ouspensky, Gurdjieff, Robert DeRope, and the book The Master Game?
The figures you've mentioned, Ouspensky, Gurdjieff, Robert DeRope, and the book The Master Game, are interconnected through their exploration of spiritual and psychological development. P.D. Ouspensky was a Russian philosopher and esotericist known for his expositions of George Gurdjieff's teachings. He met Gurdjieff in Moscow in 1915 and was associated with his ideas and practices from then on. Ouspensky taught the Gurdjieff system for 25 years in England and the US, although he separated from Gurdjieff personally in 1924. He wrote about Gurdjieff's teachings in his book In Search of the Miraculous, offering a concise explanation of Gurdjieff's complex and metaphysical ideas, which contrasted with Gurdjieff's more allegorical style. G.I. Gurdjieff, a philosopher, mystic, spiritual teacher, and composer, taught that people live in a state of hypnotic waking sleep, and that it's possible to awaken to a higher state of consciousness. His practice, known as the work, is additional to the traditional ways of the fakir, monk, and yogi. Gurdjieff's system, taught to Ouspensky and others, was complex, partly expressed in scientific terminology. Robert S. DeRope, an English biochemist and author, was influenced by both Ouspensky and Gurdjieff. He met Ouspensky in 1936 and later Gurdjieff in 1948. Sorry, I'm having issues right now. ChatGPT is experiencing heavy load. Please try again later.
Several things here. One, impressive what's occurring. And two, you can see that the system is just being overwhelmed. I mean, this is the paid system. And what we talk about in our professional training is one of the challenges with ChatGPT and tools like this is they're running on real time. So they have to now work out scalability. It's not like they can buffer it. This is being generated off the system real time. And I thought that would be a great demonstration because I already knew that it was overloaded and was hoping that it would go tilt while I was doing that. This is also why we offer training on how to use the free tools for small and micro business, and then for professionals in associations and groups, understanding the big picture for their career, for their business, for interacting with their clients. Please continue. See, this is also demonstrating how it operates, but it's overloaded right now. And they're working on it.
Ouspensky, Gurdjieff, and Robert DeRope are significant figures in the field of spiritual development and consciousness studies. PD. Ouspensky, 1878 to 1947, was a Russian philosopher and esotericist known for his expositions of the early work of George Gurdjieff. He met Gurdjieff in Moscow in 1915 and was associated with his ideas and practices from then on. Ouspensky taught these ideas and methods for 25 years in England and the United States, though he separated from Gurdjieff personally in 1924. He wrote about Gurdjieff's teachings in his book In Search of the Miraculous, published posthumously in 1947, offering a concise explanation of Gurdjieff's material. George Ivanovich Gurdjieff, circa 1867 to 1949, was a philosopher, mystic, spiritual teacher, and composer. He taught that people are not conscious of themselves and live in a state of waking sleep, but can awaken to a higher state of consciousness. His teachings, known as the work, emphasized self-development in the midst of ordinary life, differing from the traditional paths of the fakir, monk, and yogi. This approach was referred to as the fourth way by Ouspensky. Robert S. de Ropp, 1913 to 1987, an English biochemist turned author, was a student of Ouspensky. He wrote The Master Game, Beyond the Drug Experience in 1968, discussing the human psyche and techniques for achieving higher levels of consciousness. This work was influenced by his involvement with the Gurdjieff-Ouspensky teachings and his quest for spiritual enlightenment. In his books, he reported on what he learned from his teachers, mainstream psychologists, psychiatrists, and researchers into religion and spiritual life. These figures and their works explore the depths of human consciousness and the pursuit of spiritual enlightenment, contributing significantly to the understanding of human potential and the quest for a higher state of being.
Tell me more about the fourth way and what is the process to awaken based on the Master Game and Gurdjieff's work.
The fourth way, introduced by George Gurdjieff, is a path of spiritual development that integrates and works with the physical body, emotions, and mind. It's unique in that it doesn't require withdrawal from daily life, unlike the traditional paths of the fakir, monk, and yogi. The process involves being present and aware in the midst of ordinary activities, cultivating a deeper self-consciousness. In Robert de Ropp's The Master Game, the idea is to pursue self-mastery and higher consciousness through specific techniques. This involves understanding and transcending the various games of life typically pursued, such as those driven by money, power, or hedonism. De Ropp's approach emphasizes self-exploration and the application of teachings from Gurdjieff and others, including insights from psychology and spirituality. Both Gurdjieff's Fourth Way and de Ropp's Master Game share a focus on awakening to a higher state of consciousness through rigorous self-work, awareness, and inner development, all within the context of one's daily life.
What are the specific steps involved in the awakening from the perspective of Robert de Ropp's book?
Robert de Ropp's approach to awakening, as detailed in The Master Game, emphasizes the pursuit of higher consciousness and self-mastery. The specific steps aren't laid out as a rigid formula, but there are key themes. 1. Self-observation, becoming acutely aware of one's thoughts, feelings, and actions in real time. 2. Understanding the games, recognizing and moving beyond life's superficial games driven by societal norms or base desires. 3. Inner development, actively working on personal growth and self-improvement. 4. Seeking higher consciousness, pursuing a state of being that transcends the ordinary, often through meditation or contemplation. De Ropp's method is more about a continual process of self-discovery and improvement, rather than a set of definitive steps.
And Gurdjieff's process of specifically steps for awakening.
Gurdjieff's process for awakening in the Fourth Way involves several key elements, though he didn't lay out a linear step-by-step guide. The approach is holistic, working on the physical, emotional, and intellectual centers simultaneously. Here are some core aspects. 1. Self-remembering, continuously observing oneself in the moment, maintaining awareness of one's thoughts, feelings, and actions. Self-observation, noticing automatic behaviors and reactions, leading to greater self-awareness. 3. The work, engaging in exercises and practices that promote inner growth and consciousness. 4. Balancing centers, developing harmony between the physical, emotional, and intellectual aspects of oneself. 5. Group work, collaborating with others on similar paths for mutual support and learning. Gurdjieff's teachings emphasize that this process is ongoing and requires consistent, conscious effort.
Then it provides a text, which you can then copy and send to yourself or whatever you want after it explains things verbally to you. This is absolutely amazing, but you also see some of the challenges that exist. Remember to click subscribe and the bell to see future videos and check the text below for information about our training. Have a terrific day. This is Mark Brossman.